So one day Zhao shows up and is all like, and this one girl's like, and then everyone else is like, so then this pirate dude named Squint's all like,
I'll catch the shark.
but the mayor's like, oh.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm sorry. Squeaking made me laugh right before I hit the button because I made her Joaquin Phoenix one. It was so funny. She's like, I hate that guy. And I'm like, I know, but it's hysterical to see you doing it like in slow motion. I made me laugh, and I'm sorry.
I was yelling by
so
the end of the
intense.
movie.
She's like, yeah. All right. Yes. Welcome. Greetings, salutations. Welcome to Talk Hard Tuesday. Hope everyone out there is doing good. Hope you have gone out and voted. You've done your civic duty, if you will. And we can sit back and relax and enjoy some fun times before the shenanigans really get into high gear. So with me as always is these wonderful folks. Loki, my brother. Gladiator it is, my friend. Are you entertained?
Are you not entertained? Yes. Yeah.
I was
Loose
not.
the dogs of war. You were not entertained?
Hot take.
Well, if you find yourself riding in the Elysium fields, do not worry, for you are in Elysium and you are already dead. Yeah.
Well, I guess we will find out more about the SQUEEKA take. So make sure you guys don't go anywhere for that. Because, I was, okay, well, I'll give my take later. All right, IRONCASTER, my brother. Climbing trees, saving cats, doing things out in the great Michigan fair weather. What is going on, my friend?
Well, I figured it'd be a chance to come in and unleash the hell before the winter comes.
That's it.
Oh, but we are doing good. I went and did my thing. I got my little sticker that says like, "Oh, I voted." Oh, you got to make sure you get that Midwestern going. It's going pretty good here.
How you doing there, tough guy? Have you gone and voted yet?
It's great. We just made sure we got a hot tot going.
Good.
Hey, we're gonna go down to Lake Winnebago.
Lake Winnebago and lay down with the cackler, eh?
Oh yeah.
You got your vote in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can pull a cruise ship in that one. Forget the boat.
Yeah, we just only gotta go 5 minutes up the road. It's nothing. Because
All right,
we
well, let's
don't
go back to
measure distance.
Adam, sorry
because
if I
we don't-
start giggling.
Because we don't measure distance in distance. It's time. Oh, it's 5 minutes up the road.
How long
It's not a matter of how long the tunnel is. It's a matter of how wide.
Grandma got stuck last year. We don't talk about it.
Do not speak it of the tunnel depth. All right, so we already got SQUEEKA laughing, so our job is done. SQUEEKA, what is going on?
Oh, don't you know, SQUEEKA? You have to tell us what's going on.
Oh, SQUEEKA's gonna have to go to Minnesota.
Minnesota. Oh my
We're on
God,
our way
I've met
home
some
to
people.
Minnesota. We're on our way home to
I've gone to
Minnesota.
Wisconsin a few times, and you meet some Minnesotans, and they're just
Minnesota.
And then we're gonna make a stop off at Oshkosh Bagosh.
Yeah, the cackler won't go there.
Does anyone else now want to see if... I assume, SQUEEKA, you've never seen the movie Fargo?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So now,
Oh.
I don't know about anyone else, but now I'm ready to see if I can get SQUEEKA to watch Fargo. Because other than the one traumatizing scene, which is amazing, I think she's going to be distracted by the action of the entire movie.
None of y'all warned me about Gladiator. None of y'all.
What is there to warn you about? I have no idea what
It
you're
made
speaking
me
of.
cry.
Wow.
So
Of course it did.
much.
And now this I couldn't ruin. I can't ruin because this is like Ridley's opus. This is his best movie that he ever made. Arguably the best movie that he ever made.
Okay.
But but you can't ruin anything about this movie. If someone hasn't seen it, just tell them to go watch it.
Well, thanks. I did.
Well, that's good. Well, hopefully you can tell us all about it, what you think. So, well, let's say hello to this wonderful chat, starting with the Great White North, master himself, the wrench of wrenches. Hail to the Tetrarchy of Talking Heart. Hail to you, Chris, my brother. Hope you are doing well. And Penny, hanging out there, doing her part. Thank you so much for being there and hanging out. I'm not quite sure. I need an emoji translator on the first symbol. I don't know what that is. A heart? I don't know what the first symbol is. Okay.
Is it a shield?
Badass is here. Hey there. Hello. Hello, Badass. Who says like, share, and subscribe? Appreciate all the button pushing out there, folks. Appreciate that. Beard made it. Awesome, man. Howdy do you, my friend? My Watto brother and fellow white dude for Harris. Whoa, wouldn't that be a twist of fate right there? Yeah, no. No, Nos. Definitely not going to follow into that category, Nos, but I appreciate the troll efforts. Stark is here. Great to see you, Tony. Awesome, my friend. Great to have you in the house. Awesome. And Slasher Fred giving us the factoids, throwing it out there. He says it's very much similar to Hamlet, where instead of the son who kills the father, it's also Jeremy Irons who played Scar. Lion King, which based on Hamlet, was the kingdom of heaven. Indeed, indeed. Prince of Persia references there for Chris. Appreciate that. Sorry, you guys. My convents to go to vote is almost here. Loki and Valhalla made me feel guilty, so I'm going to give it the pressure. See you all. Yeah, okay. All right. We'll see what happens.
Have fun, Pat.
Let's see. Yeah, he's looking extra luscious. Those locks are flowing. It's looking good. I think I got him locked in for a couple weeks from now to come on Pops Angels because let's face it, he has better hair than we do. So he seems like a perfect choice to come on in.
Some of us don't have any. So.
I know. We got to live vicariously through him while we can. That's
My hair's longer.
Nas says he wrote in Steven Seagal. Okay, fair enough, man. You got to do what you got to do.
But my beard's not longer. Sorry.
All right. Zax is in the house. Appreciate that. Squeeka is. Did Squeeka have one too many gummies? Maybe she did indeed.
Gummies. No, it's just how I am naturally.
Adag is in the house. Roar to you, my friend. So many squeaks, indeed. Indeed, we love it when she's wound up tight and squeaking away. So. It's acceptable to cry in Gladiator. Indeed, it is, right, Loki? I mean, it's totally fine. Totally appropriate.
Oh, yeah. This is a testosterone-fueled thrill ride with the check mark that says, hey, guys, you know what? It's cool to let it out.
I feel more manly for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's movies like this that come to mind when, it's often asked, when's the last time you thought of Rome?
Yeah, well... Yeah, we need to touch on that for sure.
Certainly not with the 50-cent music that's in the trailer for the second one.
Oh, dear Lord. So we're not all entertained by the film? I had to. See Saul Assassin's Throne doing his part. Appreciate it. We appreciate the effort, my friend. Let's see.
No, apparently we are not merciful, for we did not warn Squeeka.
No, wait, well,
yeah.
Let's see. That YouTube thing. Thank you, Beard. Appreciate that. Definitely Ridley's best film, Kingdom of Heaven. Was very good. Okay. Think about ancient Rome probably twice a day. Nos is taking in double time work for everybody else. Appreciate that. So in addition to the silliness of a Gladiator 2 movie, which is a movie that I don't think anyone wanted or needed, I really had just not watched this in a while and thought I need to watch this again. And I have to be honest, the first time I watched it, I was just in awe of how great this movie is, and I just realized that I've done a disservice by not having it into my regular rotation more. It's not a movie that really comes to the forefront of my mind when Loki and we've had these conversations about the most rewatchable movies of all time. It's just for some reason, it's in like the shadow of movies like 300 that obviously I'm watching probably twice a year. So like, why is Gladiator staying on the shelf and getting dusty? So a little bit of guilt, a little bit of a guilt stream, if you will, folks. A little bit of confession time. Pops on the couch trying to confess that I need to watch Gladiator more because it is a truly spectacular epic. So
apparently I'm in this movie. I'm always told, dude, when that guy's like, Spaniard, after he says that iconic line, are you not entertained? That one guy, you hear that one guy start to chant. Apparently that's moi. I'm very appreciative.
I believe it.
I'm
I
grateful.
believe it.
I can neither confirm or deny that it is or is not Loki. So there you go, folks. I will tell you.
I mean, look, we don't know what he was doing back in 2000.
Making movies. Yeah, now we know. We know. Secret's out now.
Check the IMDb page, folks, and make sure that it's been updated appropriately. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Spaniard guy. Gladiator 2000.
Also
wonder-
under his IMDb credits is Mornings with Mischief.
Yes. Which apparently hasn't been updated in forever. So
What is your first impression, SQUEEKA? Can you tell us, like, the movie opens, a little bit of intro before we have this incredible battle, very epic. I have to be honest, I kind of underestimated how great all that sequence was as I did my rewatches, because I've watched it twice now in the last week and a half. Did you
Well,
feel like we were just? I was going to ask, did you feel like we were just kind of throwing you down the medieval battle type films, ancient Rome type stuff, or were you expecting some of the meat on the bone that we get later on?
Yes and no. I didn't expect it to launch into a battle that quickly, and I'm not a war person. So at first I was like, man, this is a lot of war. But I did love the epicness of the movie. Like, it was an epic, and I love the cinematography of it, where the way they played with the light. I mean, even like with the fire and the scene later where he's in the snow. Like, I loved the way that this movie was made. I wasn't ready for a lot of some of the plot twists and the backbiting. I did cry a lot, but that's expected, I guess. um, but overall, I mean, I say this with every movie. I want to go back and watch it, because I feel like when I watch a movie for the first time, sometimes I get more emotional and I can't enjoy the movie as much. And I mean, especially when it got to the part with the wife and the kid, and I probably paused it for a good 20 minutes right there. I couldn't handle it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that shows just the dedication to the craft of this film. Is it's so easy to pull out just that emotion from these scenes. Seeing Maximus going up and discovering his the son and the wife. This moment of just like realizing he's lost everything in this moment.
Yeah, well, and it's not just that. Like, there's even the moment when the emperor dies, and like there's so much depth to every single scene. I mean, like the scene where he gets caught, and him and Cicero make eye contact, and he's like, "No, no, dude," and the look on Cicero's face, like, "Oh, what now?" Like, it's so well done, and the emotions on. Oh my gosh, I forgot the chick's name.
Lucilla.
Yes, like, just across the board. Like, I mean, and even little Lucius, like when they're sitting at the table talking, the way he goes from like laughing to he catches on to what the adults are saying. It's so well done, but at the same time, it was such an emotional roller coaster that I want to go back and watch it for that movie watching piece.
Well, one thing I did want to ask, I guess kind of before we get into it too much, like one of the things I think is always worth asking is, especially since you've never seen this before, what was your impression of the movie? Like, what had you kind of thought this to be? And how did that compare to having actually seen it?
Well, I knew it was about, like, I remember when it came out, I knew it was about Russell Crowe. Like, I mean, I knew the backbone of it was like there's this betrayal, and he kind of comes back, like, and has his revenge. I didn't know like that he died at the end, um, but I didn't expect this much depth. I expected just a, you know, heavy testosterone, fight 'em up, Rome kind of movie, and it's way bigger than that.
it's way bigger than that.
Way
Yeah.
bigger than that. Yeah,
I was
agreed.
entertained. No, I mean, I was after I got done with all the crying. Like, after I sat and thought about it, I do love this movie, and I could probably see myself watching it quite a few times. But like I said, I also loved like the lighting, the cinematography, the shots on some of it. Like, just even the shot of the bust of oh my gosh, the first emperor. What's his name?
Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus
yeah.
Aurelius, the where he's dying, like where Commodus is killing him, and it's just the shot of his bust looking down on them. Like even that is like it's so gripping. It hits you right in the feels, but it's also so suspenseful to me.
Yeah, I think they basically just find every beat that you need to have to care about all these characters. The setup is so good that first 40 minutes, it gives you all the battles. It sets up this conflict that you have with this great warrior, and even the scene, the quick shot they have of Richard Harris, the actor, just looking out, and he has this sort of very solemn look. It's not celebratory. It's not we won. He just sort of kind of has this realization of what am I going to do moving forward? I'm near the end of my life. Look at this incredible warrior who doesn't really want to be a part of things. And yet I got this horrible, corrupt human of a son. What am I going to do? And it's there, especially when you rewatch it, you just feel so much of that setup, just the layers and layers of it coming at you. Loki, I mean, I think it's just the first 40 minutes. Oh, sorry, Arcaster, you go ahead first.
Oh, I was going to say just the pain he has as this father figure who sees the failure of having raised Commodus up to be the man he is today. You see the pain in his face, the emotion that he's bringing to the screen with as he's bleeding his heart out, having to tell his son, "You will not be the one to succeed me. You will not be the one to become the new Caesar."
The first 40 minutes or so is just so compact with so much stuff happening. Obviously, all of this is being resolved and working itself out. Here's a shot with the bus, and you can see him next to it. And I have to admit, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, no one's really doubting his ability. He's done a lot of great roles and stuff like that. He probably doesn't even get credit for this role because it's sort of like overshadowed. And he just plays the villain that you just, you love to hate kind of thing. And sometimes those characters don't always get the credit they deserve. But it's kind of a masterclass, isn't it, Loki, of just kind of like just taking a character and just being very subtle and evil with it, but also not like taking over the movie in any way.
Joaquin Phoenix's brother was a top. He was going to be a huge icon in Hollywood. He was being brought up to be one when he passed away. And the fact that Joaquin stepped in and kind of lived out his brother's life, I can see him being absolutely nervous. He's like, this could be a huge picture. Look who I'm working with. I'm working with Russell Crowe. Look at the director I'm working with. Look at all these wonderful actors, actresses, all these people I'm working with. And I've got to be this over the top but believable villain. And he does it from everything he does when he's watching the games and he's like, to all of it is like, yeah, dude, he nails it. He nails every aspect of being this pompous, I'm up my own butt, I believe my own BS emperor that is like, I'm untouchable, I'm going to go down in history, I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Even using the grain. I don't know. I don't know how much of it gets into in the regular cut, but in the director's cut, they go into detail about the fact that he is pouring all of Rome's grain into the arena to feed the people, leaving nothing for the soldiers, leaving nothing for the winner. He's just, it's like, he doesn't care. Why? Because he's emperor. If we don't have it, we'll just go take it from somebody else. There's all kinds of subtlety to everything that he does. And it's an absolute pleasure to watch him work.
Well, and to add to that, like even when he starts getting more and more kind of insane, like you can see his devolvement, and it's palpable. And while I really hate this guy, I love the way he was played. Like I don't know much of Joaquin Phoenix's works or anything, but this was, I mean, it was magical to watch him. Like if you see the first scene when they're in the carriage, and then towards the end of the movie, it is night and day. You can see him lose his, like, just lose it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and I love that build up where he understands he has to win the people over in order to be Caesar, but the problem is he also forgets that he has to be able to keep their favor, and they could be as fickle as the people could be fickle. Like when the next person comes along that the people will love more, they will turn on him, and they do.
100%. The masses. You don't want a democracy, people. Not a true democracy. The masses will turn on everything. It's just a put a finger in the wind kind of thing. So, yeah, Knopf was pointing out just how young he is in this role. For sure. And Zach points out, I don't know, I mean, where did he go? I lost it. I talked about I don't watch Gladiator very often. I watch 300 because it's just less complicated but awesome. And I think it's just, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I literally just love this movie and just realized that I just hadn't really given it much due. But across the pond, a great man himself. Angry Canadian is in the house. AC, brother, great to see. Yeah, wait till SQUEEKA sees Braveheart, the Mel Gibson equivalent of this. Oh, I know. We'll see. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there. Let's see.
We'll probably get through the Mad Max movies first.
Maybe.
I did watch Braveheart for the first time earlier this year, and I liked this one better by a bit. I loved Braveheart, and it was a good epic as well. But I'm a fan of when they use the light and the shadows and they set the scene, and I just feel like this one was just a titch better that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I don't want to say higher quality film, but it's a better executed film. I think this is literally an Oscar film of its time. It won several Academy Awards, nominated for several others. It just checks all the boxes of, and Loki's right. Like technically and arguably, it is his best film. I just find the fact that I watch Alien more, and there's some other movies that I watch more of his than I do this one, and maybe that's the injustice on my part, but. Yeah, it's good stuff for sure. So, Soul Assassin. This is all based on true people, fast and loose with facts and details. I don't know what inspired the story. Like, I don't know. I guys usually do a little trivia dump. Did you do a little peek in on what the trivia is on some of that kind of stuff? I didn't really look anything up.
So, but the one thing I did want to look into was Commodus himself. I was a little curious about the story with him, and the story was basically he wound up ruling for about 12 years roughly, and they at one point they did try to poison him, but he spat the poison up. That failed, and eventually they just said screw it, just send in a big guy to strangle the guy to death, and that eventually led to a big old rise of problems with like the Year of the Five Emperors. Like basically, I wonder how true it is. Like the idea that he had drained all of the coffers of Rome like this, because certain elements are certainly true. The real Commodus was someone who would go into the arena. He wanted to be coronated that year, having been both a champion of the arena and of the people.
Mm-hmm. He had to have the love of the people. This was an emperor that was obsessed with being loved by the people. As long as the people love me, no one can do anything to me, because the people would revolt and never let him get away with it. So he used that.
Yeah, it just really taps into all of those sort of like rich kid, the Hollywood offspring elitist type of mentalities that we see so much even today. I think it's fantastic.
Well, for him in particular, he needed all of the people to love him, like even his sister, the nephew. Like he needed everyone to love him to that. It was almost an obsessive point. Like,
yes.
Ronnie G's in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Dean Kranitz. I like this film. Being a fan of Roman army, I like how Commodus bribed a Praetorian guard to take his side. The bread and circus scene is epic. Yeah, indeed it was. So I'm glad that they went with the Phoenix version of Commodus as opposed to the historical version. It works much better. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it doesn't feel like it's totally out of character, like with what Ironcaster was going through. It just feels like it would be a different in the multiverse theory, right? This is an alternate universe. It doesn't feel like we had to create a different Commodus. It just feels like this is a different type of events that kind of transpired. So that's when they do it right, when they do those type of creative liberties. So yeah. Let's see. I think Commodus was a physical specimen. Rumor Gladiator was his real father. Oh, okay. Don't know. I don't think so. I thought Marcus Aurelius is the real dad. I thought that actually was pretty historic. I thought that part was historically accurate. I may be wrong there, but I thought that was the lineage because because I know Marcus Aurelius, there was like his brother. I think it was kind of like a co-emperor because they just didn't rule with an iron fist like some of the emperors of the past were. So. And Ridley Scott seems to make so many different versions of movies, like there were many different versions of his movie Legend. Whether director's cuts and notwithstanding, is there a set that you would recommend? I put some links in the description if you don't have a copy. Loki, would you have a set that you would recommend for people to see multiple copies that have been on one collection?
I'm pretty sure the 4K has both, but it might not. I've got a 4K with them both. I've also got a Blu-ray with both editions. Just make sure that the director's cut's included. If you have the director's cut, you've got both versions of the movie.
Oh, should I have seen the director's cut? Is that like what?
It gives you some more info and some more story. There are some, like, I think elongated battle scenes, but not by much. It's not that bloodier than the original. You just get more information, like him draining the grain. They literally have a meeting with the Senate, the heads of the Senate that are going to go up against Commodus, have a meeting where they're talking about the grain. They're talking about that they've only got enough grain to keep feeding the people in the Colosseum for another month, and then Rome's going to be out of food, and what they're going to do when that happens, and how all this is going to happen. And it's there's a lot more plotting in the movie than there was in the original against Commodus.
Oh, that would be interesting. See, that would probably be a good second watch, just so I've cleared a lot of the first watch agony, and then I can.
I think $10 from Scott Westbrook. Want to say thanks to him, my friends. Who can't stick around. Wanted to say thank you for all your great content. We'll catch that replay. Scott, thank you so much for being one of the longest members and great supporter and friend in all this. I appreciate you, man. Be safe out there. And on that director's cut type of thing, Ridley Scott's thing, there's like 15 different versions of Blade Runner. Indeed, there are, man. I don't know about this either. I don't know about all these director cut rumors that NOS is spreading, but the rumors are the rumors. I will tell you. So, wealthy women were serviced by the gladiators. Oh, yeah, well, lots of stuff.
Yes, they paid for that because it was so dangerous. It was like their own little club of the rich women that had gone and slept with the gladiator because that was their kink.
The Real Housewives of Pompeii.
Yes, the Real Housewives of Pompeii. No joke.
I just want to say too that just such a beautiful shot. I wish he had given us a little bit more of scope and perspective with the shot. But I mean, this is a building that they would literally fill it full of water to flood it and have naval battles in it. So I can't even imagine the scale is. I mean, it's incredible to me. I just can't get my head around it.
Can I let something out of the bag real quick about the second movie? I don't know if anybody's heard about this or not.
Are they going to do that in the second movie?
Oh, it gets better than that. Ironcaster is going to love this. So one of the historians went absolutely ape shit and wrote this scathing article to Ridley Scott about how the fact that there was no way, shape, or form they could put great white sharks in the Colosseum when they flooded the Colosseum and have the naval battle. So when you have the naval battle at the Colosseum in Gladiator 2, they're going to have great white sharks swimming around the Colosseum.
Does that make it a shark movie?
Eating people that fall in the water.
Make it a shark movie. Oh dear Lord! I mean, why would they even hatch great white sharks for? I mean, so the Romans, there are no great white sharks near Rome.
No, and
bring there. Like
he goes over all this. He's like, "How are you going to catch him? How are you going to transport him? How are you going to do this?" And Ridley gives the most dope bomb response I've ever heard from a director. Total props to Ridley Scott for this. Even though I think he's crazy, he says, if you were going to flood the Colosseum and have a naval battle, would you have put great white sharks in the Colosseum? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. I would totally do that. That sounds so cool. Of course he would. He goes, I don't care if it's historically accurate or not. I had to.
Ridley Scott's like, I just wanted sharks with lasers on their freaking heads. It's just, yeah, I just
freaking sharks with freaking laser beams.
if there was
And,
even
that-
2% chance I'd see Gladiator 2, Loki just ruined it for me. There's no way I could sit there and maybe with freaking sharks in the Coliseum scene. Go ahead.
Sharks are going to be great white sharks.
My odds of seeing this movie just went up by 2%.
Yeah, he took my 2% because I'm just like, there's no freaking way.
And just on that subject, like that's the one thing that the sharks, yes, but the one thing I did want to see with Gladiator 2, ever since I saw it in the advertising, was the fact that they're going to flood the Colosseum. Of all the historical epics we've gotten about Rome, of all of the factoids that we could have gotten at some point, we have never seen that.
Yep.
That is like the one great thing we're sort of missing out of all these stories of Rome. Like, more stuff about the Colosseum. Like, we've seen stuff with Ben-Hur, with the chariot races, we've seen the gladiator battles, but we've never seen the naval battles.
And now they'll have sharks.
And sharks.
Sharkaseum. Mm-hmm. Great movie. Coming to Tubi in 2026.
Sharkiator.
Sure.
Gladiator
sharks.
Good one too.
Make Gladiator fights great again. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they can have tigers, why not sharks? I mean, come on.
That's right. That's right. SQUEEKA's got it.
You guys make my head hurt because it does. It's just like, I mean, because I'm such a Rome nerd, and I'm like, okay, wait. I'm actually glad you told me because it would have. I would have broken me like in the middle of the movie. I would have just like, what the freak? There's the frickety frack. There's sharks in the middle. Like, I would have just broken like in the middle. Of the movie. Yeah. So they would bring in lions and tigers and whatever. I mean, that was they conquered an area, man, and they had creatures like that. I mean, they were all into all that kind of stuff. That's definitely part.
You would have sat up in your seat and said, "Oh no, Ironcaster." What did you do?
I would have frickety fracked Ironcaster, called his name out like he had some sort of production credit in this movie. Yeah. So.
I mean, if Loki can't appear in the first one, Ironcaster can be in the second.
No, dear Lord. Oh,
SQUEEKA's got it.
Freaking sharks and my lasers, and I can't do it. Speaking of Gladiator stuff, let's get back to this wonderful fight scene. I want to get SQUEEKA's take on just the brilliance and the fun of this freaking battle sequence of how he kind of coordinates them all, and they just have these great shots. And I don't know, what are your thoughts, SQUEEKA?
Oh, I loved all the fight scenes, even like the starter one in the forest, where he's organizing them and he tells them to stay with him. And I at first when they started this fight scene, I was worried that they wouldn't listen to him and it was going to be more chaotic, and then it just kind of unfolded. I mean, and it was like this beautiful choreographed dance. Then the camaraderie that these gladiators had and to follow him. I loved this part. I watched parts of it twice because it was just so well done and so well executed.
Speaking of well executed, Soul Assassin has a great comment. Well executed. Gladiator sweat was collected and used as an aphrodisiac to rich folks. Possibly, indeed. So.
And I love too the part that they had such faith in him. Like he would just shout out answers to them, and they knew what to do. But there wasn't this like fight for who had the center stage or anything like that. They kind of knew their places and where they needed to be, and then they would branch off and like go after some of the chariots or the way they kind of read each other's minds. It was so well done, and it almost was kind of surreal because it's like, how did they know all of this ahead of time to kind of meld this way? This is something that usually had to be practiced, but
he asks, SQUEEKA, if you go back and watch this scene, he asks when they're all standing there, he's like, how many of you served? Like, how many of you were in the military?
Yeah, I remember that part.
And he's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And basically they go up and they tell everybody else what he is talking about, what he is doing. So he's got like lieutenants he's using to lead the other men. And the one guy, the guy from Germania, who, by the way, the Germanians went to Scandinavia and became Vikings. They outlived the Romans.
Throw it down.
He doesn't listen to him. He doesn't listen to him, and he's like, I'm just going to go and do all my things. Screw this guy. It's not until later when he finds out he's Maximus Decimus Meridius that he's like, I'm going to start listening to this guy, because he gets shot in the leg, and then Maximus saves his life. So he did have people that weren't listening and weren't paying attention. But the military guys, once he started barking orders and doing stuff, they fell in line and they were like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. Let's go. Let's effing go.
Kick butt, take names. Slasher Fred brings up Ben-Hur. We did a talk hard on Ben-Hur. So yeah, Fred, make sure you check that out. That was a pick from a minute ago. That's an epic for sure.
Ben-Hur's so good. I watch that every year. Every year.
Nas says, I'd be terrified to see Pops standing across from me in a Coliseum, all jacked and oiled up. Well, you should be. It's a terrifying sight. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying. I mean, yeah. If the Talk Hard crew is standing across you, all oiled up and ready to fight, you should be quivering. You should be shaking your boots. So
okay, I gotta warn her, since she's gonna come back and be like, "Loki didn't warn me." When you watch Ben-Hur, you will bawl. There's no like, oh, I cried. You will bawl.
There will be like, movie.
No, it's way worse than this.
I was so excited. I was so excited because Cicero comes back and he has the little wooden dolls and it's great. And I was so happy. And then immediately Cicero's killed. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was angry crying. I was sad crying. I was bawling. I bawled at this movie too.
Well, it explains how. It also explains, the director's cut explains how what happens to him, who did what, because Maximus talks to the Senate. He talks to guys from the Senate in his cell. They go and see him and they talk to him, or they get him somewhere else. I can't remember which, but they get him in private and they talk to him along with Commodus's sister. And that's when you kind of realize somebody here is blabbing, and that's how they caught him. Because Maximus trusted the Senate, and the Senate, one of the guys in the Senate betrayed him.
No, so I don't want to alarm you. Zax is a double agent. He secretly works for us. You're going down. So, you know.
And then I'm throwing the net on you.
Yeah, you're done. You're toast.
Squeeka's
going to run up and give you like the triple sword jab.
Yep. Too bad I've only got the little tiny net that's about this big.
Oh no.
Because shark fins hold it down. We're all good, man.
I'll bring my angry face.
Yeah, the angry face. She's obsessed with the fact that the angry face is used.
She's angry.
Yeah, the film just really delivers on all fronts, and I was really just sort of like beside myself that like I said, hadn't given it enough time that it deserves in my regular watch cycle. So that's one of the reasons why this movie. Yeah.
So you brought up 300 earlier, and while the thing is, you compare the two films, and you look at it and you realize there's a difference between the two ultimately of style versus substance. 300 is a movie that's all style, but at the end of the day, it doesn't exactly have a ton of nutrients to it. It's a fun watch. It's a candy movie to go and enjoy. This nourishes the soul. This is a movie about revenge, about someone who's been put to their absolute lowest low, where they have nowhere to go, and they still find the will to survive, to keep going because of that distant hope of that revenge, of getting to make things right.
So, like, my only pushback to that would be that I love 300 because of the patriotism and the sacrifice and the true warrior nature of the film, and above all things, it is a quite literal adaptation of its source material. So it literally is the comic book fan dream project. It's literally like, could I ever get this movie? Could I ever get this movie? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, 300 is literally like storyboarded onto film, like shot by shot by shot. Like Zack Snyder doesn't even deserve half the credit that he gets because it's someone else's work that he just adapted to film. So it's almost one of those things where in the same conversation because of ancient history and the general feel of the movies. But I just realized I watched 300 probably twice a year. I probably watch Ben-Hur once a year, and I realized I haven't watched Gladiator in like at least 2 years or 3 years. I'm like, huh. So that's all. I just think this movie is a gem. I think that Ridley Scott's, I think his reputation, if we polled people though, Loki, you could speak to this too. People are going to bring up Aliens, Alien and Blade Runner.
Yep.
And I don't know the Gladiator is going to be in the forefront of most people's minds, and that's kind of criminal.
Well, okay, look, Alien is one of the best horror movies of all time. It broke all kinds of records. Blade Runner was, for the most part, a flop in theaters that became hot after the
It's
fact.
a sci-fi gem, though. It's like one of the
It
top
is a sci-fi gem.
films ever been made.
As a sci-fi film, it absolutely positively earns its place. Gladiator is a different genre of film. And overall, I think he was at his peak. I think Ridley was at his peak when he made this movie. Yes, Blade Runner is absolutely an awesome sci-fi movie, but it's in its class. If you take it out of that class and you start comparing it with everything else out there, I don't think it's his best movie. Alien, you can argue all the stuff he was going through, everything he was fighting, because he was fighting the studio, he was fighting basically constantly. He got a lot more go and do your thing with this movie. So,
that's true.
And it's
arguable. That's why I said that. It's
arguably
different
genres, right?
Film.
So this is the problem too. We start mending different genres and things like that. It's like Alien is its best sci-fi horror movie, and Blade Runner is among the best sci-fi movies of all time. And this is really one of those that doesn't get the credit it deserves, I guess was my point to that. So go ahead, Ironcaster.
Oh, I was going to say, this is more like that fine steak, that fine dining you go to, but you don't do it super often. This is something to be savored and enjoyed. Yes, those other movies are fantastic, but it's so easy for this one to kind of slip into the background and kind of not always stay with you. But when it does come up, you really savor it, and you really remember it and go, oh, that movie is good.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I will say I liked this movie better than Alien. I loved Alien, but I like this one a little bit more. It's kind of, I think it's even with Blade Runner for me, but I mean, this one to me had it just had more power than Alien did. Alien was great, but this one I don't know. It was way more powerful. And to me, the plot turns and things like that, there was just more of those.
It's fair. Definitely fair. I mean, I'm not gonna diss anybody who has a preference one way or the other. I think all these things, the intensity and this third act, it just starts to get so twisted and dark and interesting. And of course, this battle sequence when he brings in the tiger and he's bringing in the undefeated champ, thinking that he's finally got it over and it's supposed to be on the take. It's all supposed to be a setup, and he still finds a way to survive and overcome. It's just, it's great.
He defeated the Gaul.
The Gaul goes down.
And just, if we stop right here, like one thing I really want to comment on and bring up is just how amazing the wardrobes are, the costumes. Like,
yes, I was gonna get there.
Yes, it's like, and that's the thing. Joaquin Phoenix, everything he wears is just spectacular, superb. One of my favorite, one of my favorite costumes I seen him wearing this is at the very end when he goes into the arena, the all white costume where he is this man who is trying to claim this idea of being so innocent, so pure, so noble and beloved. He is the White Knight, but we've seen so much that his core is rotten, is selfish, it is turned in upon itself.
Well, Chanty Yates is the costume designer. She won an Oscar for this, and she works with Ridley Scott on most of his things. So she tends to have a good feel working with him to get this kind of like detail in the background. Even films that I don't think you think about, if you go back and you watch, like when he did her work on American Gangster, and even things like The Martian, which is the Matt Damon on Mars thing. There's just so many details and things that are included. It's just brilliant. I love it. So yeah. I know, Squeaky, you had to be loving life with the costume design and the art design and all that, because that's right up your alley for sure.
Yeah, even down to the decor in the rooms, and like the opulence of the carriage they're in. Like, I mean, I watch Chinese historical dramas just for the costumes. So I and it fit to like watching the gladiators, like the way his armor evolved and the way he kind of evolved, and I'm with Ironcaster on. I love the white suit at the end when he walked out, and then I was like, oh heck no,
And
no you
and it's
didn't.
and especially in that scene when they intentionally go to like he's just so washed out. Like it was like even just that little odd choice. Like it's not something you would normally have done, but it works when they're rising up on the lift.
Yeah, I think I went too far for that shot. I don't know.
No, this is it right here.
Yeah, look at the ornate details on the cape, the way it's attached to the chest plate. Gosh, it's just spectacular. Beautiful work.
It makes me want to bust mine out and just wear that to work tomorrow.
You don't just wear it all the time? I mean, wait, Loki, I swore he said he wore
why
it
aren't you
all
wearing
the
it
time.
now of all times?
Yeah, why is it not on? Like, I don't.
Special occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when
we're
I'm
not a
rescuing
special
cats from
occasion enough for
trees.
you.
Yeah,
Well,
I see.
I don't see anyone stuck in a tree.
I see where you rank. Stephen Ransom,
I'll be right
$4.99.
back.
Thank you for all the great work and the hard talk. Stephen Ransom, thank you, and thank you for being such a great friend on this journey, man. You've been awesome, man. We appreciate you and appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, guys. Pat S is back. There we go. Took longer than I thought. All right. Well, work here is done. We're good.
You got through it though.
That's good. Squeaks loves her opulence. Indeed, she's flexing her education. Oh yeah, she knows she can bring it. So that's for sure.
She used one of those 15-cent words.
15 cents. I should get at least 2 dimes for that.
Ooh.
We'll see.
All right. Let's see where we're at on something else that we needed to touch on briefly. I mean, I didn't really say anything about Richard Harris, did I? Did I really get into how much I love Richard Harris? I mean, he's really short-lived in this movie, but I think he's just really fantastic. I got to get back to it because it'll take a minute.
I love the Gladiator's little companion guy, the
Cicero.
Not Cicero. The other guy, the one that he's the Gladiator companion. What's his name?
Oh, the black guy.
Yeah, the one that fights with him.
Right.
But and especially at the end where he buries
Juba?
the little
Juba?
people in the Colosseum. That was so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I thought all of the gladiators, I loved how it all comes together, that Maximus can just work with these really talented physical specimens and just overcome. But a lot of love for Richard Harris. I just think he's just doing so much with this short, small role that he has. And obviously people know him from all these other different things that he did over his career, but this is just a great role. So, all right, where to next?
Well, there was that one deleted scene with him where he was talking to Russell Crowe and he says, "You're a gladiator, Maximus."
Yes.
Yeah, anyway. Nobody's going to get that. It's
I liked the pompous guy, the gladiator guy, the one that was the ringleader of them. What was his name? What was his name? Oh my gosh! I just watched.
Are you
this
talking
yesterday.
about Oliver Reed?
I don't know the
Proximo.
actor's name.
You're talking about Proximo.
Proximo. I'm like, I know it started with a P. Proximo. I liked him too. I mean, I hated him and I liked him at the same time. He was honest. He was a very true character, as far as like he had what he wanted and he went and got it, but he didn't. He like when he's talking to Maximus, he's like, basically, like, I'm not a good guy. I'm, but then again, he says, okay, go. Like I loved his character.
The actor actually passed away while they were filming this. He was supposed to live. He's supposed to be the one that buries the wooden figures of his wife and kid in the ground.
I didn't need to know that, Loki.
In the Colosseum. He was the one
Loki,
who was supposed to do that.
I want to live stream. You can't go.
He's gonna start crying on stream. Loki broke SQUEEKA.
But he passed away, so they had a guy step in and finish out what they needed to get it done, and they killed him off when they sacked the compound.
And as they did so, he died to the sound of.
Sad that he died. Like, look, you can't do this to me on a stream.
I'm sorry. I was letting you know the actor was so good that he passed away while they were filming, and they got a guy to come in and replace him. I had to.
Nos, I'm not sure you want to stay at the farm, but if you're really, Mrs. Pops will put you to work. Everybody should know you've been adequately warned. Loki will catch me in the middle of, we'll be talking. I'll be like on the farm. It's like I'm with the goats right now. Hang on 1 minute. The chickens are being too loud. I can't hear you. It's just So you'll get put to work if you want to stay here and earn your keep. But hey, Lord, I can't even talk about some of the other things I've been here lately. I'm not sure it'll get me in trouble with the wildlife groups, but Loki knows. It's some crazy stuff when you live in the woods, my friends. So
it's unbearable.
Dog bear.
It could be unbearable, and it could be. Black coyote is a term that we've been using lately because we're not quite sure if we've overspent our use of the terms. But yeah, let's just say hurricanes, man. My friend had it happen again. So I think that the hurricanes and such have disrupted wildlife, and it's caused problems. So
they're going out of their territory. They go out of their territory when their habitat is disrupted. That is when they'll venture out.
And their food's been disrupted, or the normal food supplies moved too. So now they're coming. Yeah. So my friend had an incident, let's just say, and that's all we're gonna say. So yeah, Loki is a heartless beast. I don't know. I've seen the heart. It's in there.
I don't know how I get blamed for all this.
I don't know. It's 2 sizes bigger than when I first met him. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm such a crybaby.
You're not.
Oh, you're not. You're great.
No. Stephen Ransom, we definitely went there and definitely talked me off of ever seeing it. However, we've locked Ironcaster into seeing it for sure. And it could come up as a shark movie now. At this point, I'm more convinced that I can just ignore Gladiator 2 from existing other than as a shark movie. Like it can be like in the Tubi category with all the other shark nonsense. So
and that is genuine. You can look that up. Go if you don't believe me about the shark bit, go and Google it. The guy absolutely tore into Ridley Scott about how historically inaccurate it was to put great white sharks in the Roman Colosseum when they flooded it. I was like, oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.
wow, I'm still just
So I just want to show the headline for the New York Times here for you. We can close that out? No, we can't. All right, that's all we need. Gladiator 2 delivers friends, Romans, sharks.
Mm-hmm.
I love it already.
Pops, we could watch Clash of the Titans instead. The 2010 one.
No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's no. I'm not watching.
I want to see the movie stop. They're standing on the boat. The Colosseum is flooded, and you just see this shark fin come up out of the water. And they're like,
yes.
And I mean, everything just stops as they see this great white fin cut the water and make the dun 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 dun.
And then they turn and look, and someone says, "We're gonna need a bigger boat."
We're gonna need a bigger boat, lads.
I want to know because what they wouldn't know what it was. I mean, they didn't have exposure to sharks, so they'd be like, "What the what?"
I heard this article says they have the wrong kind of rhino. So whatever rhino they use in the movie is the wrong rhino. They don't even get the right rhino right.
I think well, they had the African rhino. So if Roman traveled to Africa, so
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, it could be the Indian. It could be either one. Yeah, I mean, that. But this is an article that's blasted the sharks and stuff too. So it's definitely getting some legs. That it's This is the article. This is the article Loki's talking about. The BS is for sure. And there's Denzel going, how the hell did I end up in this movie? I gotta get a different agent.
Apparently, King Kong did in fact have shit on him.
I don't know if I like the costumes as well in this one, in whatever that is.
They look cheaper.
Okay,
don't
it's
pop.
not just me.
It's not just you. From the emperors, because there's going to be 2 emperors. There's 2 emperors in this. From the emperors to what Denzel's wearing to what I can't remember his name. Commodus's nephew.
Lucius.
From what Lucius is wearing, I could completely ruin something for you too, but I'm not going to. It all looks cheaper. It all looks cheaper, and that's just a thing with Hollywood today. Is everything is cheaper and looks cheaper.
You would figure with the tools we have, like especially like 3D printing, things like that, that it would look way stellar.
Yep. Unfortunately, nope.
Chris Persia is setting up Gladiator 2 as a possible prequel to Jaws. The sharks escape the Coliseum, make it to America with human flesh. Yeah.
And Jamaica. One goes to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
One goes to
It's the
SeaWorld.
jerk seasoning.
And then
The
one goes
big
to
white
space.
devil in the water.
Real Wade's reaching out. Oh, yeah, man. Just hit me up. Let me know. Figure out how to schedule it. Schedule is going to be the issue. Pedro gets eaten by a shark would be a plus. So I have to be honest. So my negative 2 points goes away. I get maybe 1 back depending on the demise of Pedro Pascal, because Pedro Pascal has become literally the most he's like the irritating fad of the moment with Hollywood's actors and the people that they choose. So that would be
a 3-point swing.
No, I'm only going to give him back 1. Pedro's not that important to me, but yeah.
Well, but watching Pedro suffer, like if it's like 5 minutes of him suffering in agony, like I'm giving it like 2 extra points.
I don't believe he's going to go down with a shark. That's so it'd be different if he loses a limb or something, or I don't believe it.
So I do want to ask. This is particularly for the chat. Like, do you guys want to watch us suffer? Like, I'm trying to push these guys to watch some bad movies. Like, I'm talking about like watching Jack and Jill. Like, I'm talking about Clash of the Titans from 2010. Like,
we're not doing Clash of Titans 2010. No, there's a line.
Or Wrath of the Titans. We're not even going to go for the good one. We're going to go for the really bad one.
Loki just threw in how much he would mind watching Jingle All the Way, which is not a good movie. It's a fun movie and not a good movie. So he can't take a win. Jingle All the Way is right on the radar screen for December, and he can't take the win. He's already trying to.
And then we're going to follow it up by watching Junior.
Junior?
I haven't seen any of these movies. I'm so excited. I haven't even seen Clash of the Titans. I know that's sad, but I haven't even seen Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, I don't know about the shark thing though. I mean, not great whites off the Mediterranean, I don't think. So, I don't know. You got Dean's point out that definitely a callback there, Dean, to the whole Starship Trooper thing. Yeah, we it hasn't made the list yet. It's gonna be even more fun now that Squeek is here. So, just saying.
Wait, is the movie not based off of the book? I thought it was based off of the book.
Well, it has the same name.
So, to make the long story short, Paul Verhoeven read like the first chapter or 2 of the book, threw it in the trash, and said, "Forget it."
Yeah,
and then he made a movie.
Yeah, Paul Verhoeven is not an adapt a movie kind of director. He is I'll do whatever he wants to do, and he's one of those like go F off German hardcore filmmaker guys. He is not about So it's just not a good fit for what if you're a fan of the book. Starship Trooper is just what it is. So
it's its own entity. There are some people who like it for what it is.
I don't mind
it's its own entity.
It's its own thing. So
I agree with Vex in chat.
It's fantastic.
Soundtrack to Gladiator is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Best thing about Gladiator's soundtrack? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I could make the list
I
sometime.
haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it would be a fun movie. It's just sad that that's what we got for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Actually, it's one of those great concepts that I would love to even redo with like Golden Age characters that are probably in public domain or something, but it gets complicated. But yeah, it's a fun movie. Great read, by the way. If you guys love those comics, it's fun stuff. So
I like Captain Nemo in that movie.
yeah, well, Captain Nemo in just about any movie should be kick ass, man. It's a super cool character. So.
Welcome to the Nautilus, gentlemen.
Gladiator versus the Great White. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like we're going to get it, and I don't know that anybody asked for it. But there you go.
Well, it all depends on if the Gladiator gets his little floaties or not.
Dear Lord.
I doubt floaties are going to help much.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
They're going to help with buoyancy. That gives him the edge.
Don't we basically get Gladiator versus the Great White in sort of a generic, like Jason Statham, the Meg? Look, we get the equivalent thereof without the armor and the swords. That's the only thing that's missing. So. Yeah, no, I think Beard's right. I mean, I think, Vex is right. It's entertaining. So, yeah, we could throw it on the list for next year. We'll see. Yeah. Let's see.
I'll try
Mystery
not to
Men.
watch these movies before they're on the list, so I can.
Yeah, we'll see. The list will keep you pretty busy, so we'll have to make sure that we update the list. I'll get the Christmas ones uploaded here soon, just so that I can do it. 'Cause that's basically the purpose of keeping StreamYard. It's just for this piece. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I don't know why my code won't work to give me the discounted price to keep StreamYard. So I'm just on the free service. So it is what it is. We keep moving. Keep on going. Keep on talking hard. We talk hard. All right. So let's we'll kind of like drive near the end on Gladiator. Any other particular thoughts or things we need to get to, Loki? Anything you want to touch on?
I love the fight. The fight at the beginning really sets the pace for a lot of the movie. Especially the fact that they're fighting Germanians. Like I said earlier, these guys would eventually go down and populate Scandinavia and become Vikings. And the Vikings used a lot of Roman tactics. And the Romans learned those tactics from the Greeks and the Spartans. So the fact that it's all kind of connected in this area of the world where you wouldn't think these people would know these people or have any idea about anything. Yeah, you see them, 1,000 years before they would ever go on and become the adventurers and the explorers that they were. They're fighting the Romans to the death, and they had them outnumbered. What Maximus did in the beginning of the movie is he really, really evened the odds by flanking them from behind with the cavalry. If that hadn't worked, they might have lost. They might not have had enough men and equipment on the line to hold it. So there's so much history, even in all of this fiction and dramatization of these events. There's so much history and so many cool things to see that you might never have saw without Ridley Scott doing this movie. So that's my biggest thing with it is growing up, hearing about the Roman Empire from my dad, learning about it because he was a history teacher. He was all into this stuff. He learned about it in the military. It was perfect for me. This movie is as close to a 10 as you're going to get. For me, anyway.
It's a beautiful film. And I will say, too, just to piggyback off what you said, too, that's one of the reasons that I've always just loved the story of Caesar winning in Germania, like going into their territory to win. Like that was, way before this century. Like about not quite a century, right? Or at least I don't know. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be around 180. Is this when it's supposed to take place? Around 150 to 180. So yeah, Caesar would have been like 100 years or so before all that, and yeah, super super cool stuff. So,
Just look at this shot. Look at how it's so dark, and then it's like Maximus is like the highlight. Like it's so the colors. Yeah, I know that sounds weird because it's such a dark shot, but it's so it's so beautiful.
Yeah, the thing there's so much the color coding is so great. The the way they managed to get the lighting just right. Everything is standing out. We don't have this issue of everything being too black, too dark, too hard to see what's going on. You almost always can see what's going on with every shot. You're not lost in a big old cloudy, smoke cloud on being unable to figure out anything. And all of this while, communist thing kind of shows up like, oh, am I too late for the battle? You're too late for the war. Loki, you're absolutely right. This is one of those movies that arguably is up there as one of those perfect movies. It is so hard to find those gripes, to find those criticisms. And having heard now what's all in the alternate versions of this film, that's something that makes me want to sit down and watch one of those. Now that it's the first time I watched the movie in a few years, so I'm coming back to it about a year or two later since the last time I saw it. Russell Crowe is utterly fantastic, and we've kind of hardly talked about him in this because there is frankly so much to really pick into, so much to enjoy. There's not a bad bit of this movie where I can have any justifiable criticisms. This is a 5 out of 5 movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Fantastic. All right, Squeeka, break it down for us. How was that first watch? Give us a score. Give us some thoughts.
First watch, I mean, it was a wild ride. It was very emotional. I would have to pause and then I would go back and watch some scenes because the costumes, the cinematography, it was so beautiful, and I think that added to the emotional piece of it, just because it was so breathtaking. Definitely a 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10, whichever scale you want to use. I do want to go back and watch this again. I could see me watching this at least once a year, if not more. And just to get a lot of the small details, to watch the pieces of it. Now I know that one guy died, and I'm going to look at it even sadder when they bury the pieces at the end. But like, I don't know why I hadn't seen this before, and I am so glad to have seen it. This is probably going to beat out Batteries Not Included, if maybe by a small margin. It might be a really close second for my favorite movies. Like, it's just so gorgeous, and I don't care if it's some testosterone-filled revenge party. I feel more manly for watching it, and it's just so beautiful to me.
Well, I'm glad we were able to increase your toxic masculinity and do our part. That's definitely, I love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I if you had asked lists of movies and things of that nature, I would have probably forgotten this one. And this is my big confession of this stream is this is one of these films. I called it an underrated epic because it just seems like for some reason we don't always talk about this movie. And I'm hoping that next year it does change a little bit, right? It'll become the 25th anniversary next year. Maybe they'll get one of those nice Fathom event things, Ironcaster, that we love so much, right? Get a special event thing going on, Loki, that we can all kind of like go and chill out or watch. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, super good. It deserved every Oscar and then some. And yeah, it as far as film and definitely the technical aspects of it is a superior film to so many things that we do talk about regularly. So, Stephen Ransom, yes, we do have Batteries Not Included at the. It'll be in our 2025, pretty early in the year, I believe. We kind of have it slated in the first month or so. So yeah, keep your eye on that. We'll definitely have that on our to-do list to keep Squeeka happy because it's one that she threw out there, and we're like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, it is indeed among her favorite, I believe. If it's not the favorite, it's among her favorite. We've already gotten
it's the favorite. This one's a very close second, maybe tied now, but I mean, I said that about the Magnificent Seven too, but it's up there. Batteries Not Included is still my top.
Well, Magnificent Seven deserves. I mean, listen, at least we're putting things on the board that are really top tier. So it's not like we've brought it down. We're just elevating your rep, your street cred, if you will.
Whoa, I got street cred. Now I feel even more cooler.
Well, of course, you're amongst the nerds. So I hit my mic. Sorry, folks. Yeah, of course you are. I mean, I thought that was part of what we're doing here. No? So, I don't know. Ironcaster, where do we go from here? I mean, Gladiator is, like, I know next week we have Bloodsport. And I know there's people out there right now who love Bloodsport. But for me, I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to watch Gladiator again first. Just be honest. Let's be honest with
Well, I mean, if you want something more sort of in that similar vein, there's a couple of things that do spring to mind. Of course, obviously, some of the classic stuff like Clash of the Titans is definitely up there for those picks. But if I were to suggest one other movie that I don't think anyone here would probably have seen,
I am Ben-Hur for that. Ben-Hur came up briefly. I was thinking about Ben-Hur because definitely is pretty much the same sort of saga. Yeah.
Then what I would recommend is actually a comic adaptation, a movie made based off a comic, and that would be Asterix, Asterix the Gaul specifically, which was a Franco-Belgian comic series from like the 60s that's still going to this day about a little Gaul village which held out against the mighty Rome. And in this movie, the one gladiator that Maximus fights alone in the arena is a Gaul. So there is that connection there. Plus, it's a fun little cartoon movie with like I think something like 30 to 40 little movies, and it's a lot of fun. They have a ton of these. They have a ton of adaptations of this. So let me pull up an image for you guys.
I'm not going to brush it off per se, but I actually thought about asking her if she could make time for us and have her on next week, Copa. But I know you guys are swamped with stuff. But if you want to mention it, I'd love to have her on so she can bring all of her John Claude love and defense and totally put me in my place. I'm not beyond reproach.
I did a read for her for that, and it was hilarious.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I don't know when the next Hot Fuzz and World Ends will make. Probably next year. Beard, probably next year for sure.
Absolutely.
No Hot Fuzz till next year.
Ironcaster? I don't have to coach Ironcaster. He's scaling trees without me, and I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what I did there. So, yeah. Asterix and his best friend Obelix. All right. Asterix is cool. Is there one called Asterix the Gladiator? Yeah. Is there not? Is that a different thing? Or is
there's
that just
one where
of the stories?
There's one of the stories. So like oftentimes they're fighting Romans.
Okay. All right. I think I've
Asterix
seen
the Gladiator was one.
I think that's the one I've seen. I've never seen this one. Maybe this is the very first one.
This is the first one. So
right.
let me
Asterix the Gaul.
There
is
we
the
go.
First one. Cool. Oh yeah, that's the one I've seen.
They get they drink a magic potion and they can punch the Romans into the sky like that.
Very cool.
So if you want something a little more juvenile, something you can absolutely watch with the kids, it's fairly tame, nothing too crazy out there, and I think it might be something fun to check out. Plus, they've also done some live action
foreign comic book.
Yeah, these were I think they're French comics, and they've been translated into English. They've been translated up into a few different languages. Some of these movies are done in English as well, so it's easily able to go out and enjoy. Some of these you can find on YouTube.
That's even better news. Well, I know Bloodsport is on Tubi, so there'll be that.
So is Gladiator.
Gladiator's on Tubi right now? I missed it. I didn't know. I own it.
Where I watched it.
I didn't know. Okay, cool.
Oh, I didn't check there. I just rented it.
All right.
You might have gotten the longer version or one of the other versions with a bit more to it then.
You might have.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of glad I got this version to start off with. Now I can look forward to the extended one.
Well, Dean, thanks for hanging out with us for so long. Have a good night and be blessed, my friend. Keep in touch.
Oh, I want some bourbon.
Of course, I've seen some Guns of Navarone. Classic film. Very good. Very good.
We all need some bourbon.
I
Might
have
tonight.
some whiskey right here.
Yeah.
Little Meloncaster love there. We always love some Meloncaster love. That's the story. And the gift that keeps on giving there. So, With the Meloncaster transition, it's only fair to ask him, man. Mech Monday. I haven't got through this Mech Monday. I got to watch it. So catch everybody up on what's going on.
So, funny thing about the stream last night, Toho claimed it and blocked the stream.
Did it go down? They took it down while it's happening, or after the fact?
After the fact, like I was at work today and I got an email out of nowhere. They're like, oh, by the way, all because I showed like an ad that had no footage.
So
it
is
was
it
just to
copyright
show like
claimed, or did they actually did they pull it down?
It is. Let me go to my channel and see, but it is
blocked in every country.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow. Well, we can trim it out. We'll fix it. I can help you.
One of the reasons why I've never done a Godzilla channel, even though I would love to, even though
I know it's so tricky using stuff like that. Yeah.
And it was ultimately because, like, you know, hey, there's a little bit of news, a Godzilla and Digimon collaboration. I was like, hey, this is like right up my alley.
IRONCASTER is got into with a fight with Toho. Who knew? Who knew? So claimed by Toho. Yeah, you should be proud. I mean, listen, you're doing something right. So yeah, I know I missed it too. I didn't get it. I had other personal stuff going on with the family. So yeah,
it happens.
But he's rescuing cats. He's doing his part, folks. Make sure you check out IRONCASTER's channel. Get on those bells and whistles so you can catch it live, so you don't end up missing out the next Toho community service effort that he puts out there to the world. Loki, my friend, I am looking forward to tomorrow, especially after the tease today, the wake of an election, everything else going on, and all the shenanigans that are out in the world. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be.
Well, it is, and the fact that people they've been showing up in streams and they can't say anything, and they're basically I'm not going to say shadow banned, but they're disappearing in chats. They aren't able to like talk to anybody or put a message out there. I had a couple of people reach out this morning saying I couldn't say anything in your stream. Snorty Poop Scuba had to create a whole new account to talk to people. Jill Powers, the River Daughter, messaged me and was like, I don't see anything coming up anytime I say anything. I said, I didn't see it today. And there's all kinds of shenanigans afoot on the alphabet sides. So,
yeah, I actually made a comment. I think it was in your chat or while we were talking or whatever about not being able to comment for a few hours. It was very strange. And then I kind of like, reached out to the YouTuber thing and then it just went away. I'm commenting again. So I don't know. It's like I triggered. I stepped into some sort of weird landmine that just automatically did something. I don't know. It was kind of weird. But yes, the world is a little crazy, especially this week and what we're in the middle of. So I assume that's probably partly to blame. They're running algorithms and things that just sweep up many of us, even if we're being innocent. So, SQUEEKA, what's the world like ahead for you next few days? What's going on?
Well, work is absolutely crazy, so I'm going to probably be working until goodness knows when at night. But other than this, Jana is actually cooking up something on her channel, and we're going to be doing a show together. So that's exciting. Nice. Keep your eyes open for that. I'm really, really stoked. I love me some Jana. Yeah, I mean, I still, one of these days, I swear I'll pop into Loki's Friday streams. One of these days. When I'm not out of town.
Well, next week we're doing Bloodsport, so you can watch that over on Tubi for free. So you can feel free to get in.
I'm excited because I did the read for Jana, so now I'm excited to actually watch the movie I did the read for.
Yes.
Kumite.
I called it Kumite the whole time.
And she calls it Kumite, and it's even better that it's Kumite. I can't even do the Kumite now. I think Copa brought that up earlier in the chat. I was like, yeah, it's Kumite.
I thought about pronouncing it differently every time for the read because I'd never seen the movie. But I was like,
I wish there were more of those reads. It's such a brilliant idea. She actually broke me. If anybody's watched mine when I do Airplane, and she broke me. I couldn't keep a straight face, and she left it in. I was like, oh, all right, I guess we'll go. Yeah, okay, that's what we're gonna do. Yes.
Surely you can't be serious.
No, that wasn't it. It was like a self-deletion type comment, but it was how she worded it, and it just got me cold, and I was Yeah, Lester, next week, Bloodsport. Talk a little.
But yeah,
Jean-Claude
that's
Van
that's
Damme.
about it for me. I mostly just hang out here, and then what Jan and I have going on. It'll probably be early December. So like I said, just keep your eyes open. I'll talk more about it once we get some things finalized. But I'm excited.
I am too.
And
That sounds great.
I'm up to 82 subs. Yay me! I don't even care what the numbers. It's sorry, it's just a joke for me. I know that a lot of people are really wanting subs and stuff, and I'm sorry to make a joke of it, but I'm like, I love you guys. There's no content there, and y'all are
Here you go.
hanging
Let's get her to 100, folks. Let's get her to 100. Let's just keep going.
You know what you need to do, Squeeka, and this is the thing. This idea is largely because of Steve Ransom. You need to go watch Freeran and give us a reaction to that.
Okay, where would you like me to give that reaction?
Well, on your YouTube channel.
No. No.
Beard. Beard says she has more subscribers than me. Well, she's SQUEEKA. I don't want to tell you, Beard. I get it. After next week, we'll be doing Journey to the West. It's kind of our follow-up to Kung Fu Hustle, so it'll be kind of fun to do that. A little Stephen Chow, some more fun shenanigans there. SQUEEKA, have you seen that one too?
No, I have not.
I knew you loved Kung Fu Hustle, so I was curious if this was going to be a first watch
No,
for you as well. I
haven't.
know it is me. I thought I saw this one, did not. Have not seen that one. I had to message Ironcaster to make sure I was getting the right poster. I was like, wait, am I getting the right movie? Because it's got like a caption. I guess there's more than one of them. I don't know.
There's more than
Yeah,
one?
no.
Wait, how do I know which one's the
Well,
right one?
Mind you, I think what you're encountering is the fact that it had like two different release dates, because one was like the Chinese release, and then there was the global worldwide release. So it's basically listed twice.
All right.
Oh, wait, which one are we watching?
I'm not sure if there's a difference. We'll have to do some digging.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to check too because it was on Tubi before, so that's where I was going to watch it. Yeah, it's there. Journey to the West is there, and it says dubbed. That's the one I'm going to watch.
Yeah,
is there a sub?
that's the version I'm going to go with.
Yeah, there's a dub version on Tubi. That's the one I'm going to watch because I don't own this. I've never seen it. So, yeah, very cool. Then we're going to watch Dutch. And I guess we will have to get you a copy of Dutch because I don't think it's available. They've put a kibosh on Dutch, Loki. Like it's like on total lockdown. I couldn't. Yeah, it's like
You
nowhere.
can't even rent it?
I don't know about renting it. I just looked into where it was streaming or where it's been, and
Can we get it over on our usual place?
I think we can get it through Flickster.
Then I will do that. I will do that right now, and I will link it to everybody.
Yeah, we'll have that going on because I did find with the Bloodsport thing what I didn't know was a physical copy on Blu-ray. It's never been done on 4K, I don't think. And then it's hard to find on Blu-ray, and they're very expensive. I'm like, oh, interesting. So it's one of those weird ones that just kind of fell through the cracks, and there's just not a lot of copies of with Bloodsport. So for those of you out there to have a nice Blu-ray copy of that, just take care of it. Yeah, Beard used to go to your local Blockbuster. Oh, I know. Missed the days.
Now it's contact Loki, and he'll send you a copy.
Yeah, I know. I have the service
Really?
too.
Should I just be contacting you instead of renting them? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, please don't
I'll
spend any more
just
money.
Send it to you. Don't spend
Yeah.
any money.
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, we have it. Yeah. But I have to be honest, I'm still sad though, because I took stuff with me to the event I was at, a lot of physical copies of stuff, a lot of stuff that's new, Blu-ray, DVDs, sets, stuff. Didn't make a single sale. Only had a couple people looking. Just, I don't know. Normies have moved on to digital, and it saddens me. It's
how easy it is. It's the ease of it.
Mhm.
You don't have to have a collection. You don't have to take up wall space. It's the ease of I can just turn on my TV, click a button, and watch it. But I tell you what, there are differences. I know I got the digital version of the TNG remasters. Those don't look as good streamed in 1080p as they do off the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looks so much better.
All right.
Yeah, that's probably be one of my next big purchases next year. It's going to be getting that TNG box set.
Well, just so you know, if you're like, oh, I can get the digital for like $40, Loki.
No.
Oh well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get
It's-
it sent over to you, Squeeka, so you can watch it. If anybody else wants to watch it, you have to reach out and let us know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's in this category. I think the first time we really ran into it pretty hard, I think Ironcasters, we did when we did Johnny Dangerously. We couldn't find Johnny. They had Johnny Dangerously kind of on lockdown. It's like they did a DVD release or something a while ago, and then after that, they kind of a kibosh on that one. So
Yeah, it was one of those movies that sort of never even got the Blu-ray upgrade.
Yeah. So
And they were putting everything out on DVD.
I thought so, and they're just kind of keep making money, but evidently they just got some of these movies that kind of have some fan following, and just that's gonna be a fun one. So, well, guys, I can't thank you enough. What a wonderful Tuesday! Great way to start my night. I'll be on later doing a little political thing with Pacific 414's Rumble channel. I have to get the link to make sure I know how to share that over on my Twitter page because I don't even know. I have the link to go on the show. I don't have the link to the stream. I have to get that figured out. So. Old school pops talking numbers and stuff. A little extension of what Loki and I kicked off this morning. Because I've been doing that kind of analysis for a long time. I was surprised they asked me to do it, but I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts, and we will get through the night. My son will be with me. We'll be live in studio talking that. So, and next week we'll have some Bloodsport fun and hanging out, man. Hope everybody has a great week. Everybody takes care. Don't get too crazy. Don't get caught up in the crazy. Just the world will keep turning. I assure you. So. Everybody out there, you guys be blessed. Till next time. Thanks again, everyone. We're going with a quick little humor and then right out the door. Take care, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Hey, how you doing?